All right, so today we're doing this. So I was gonna film this in the truck, like I had mentioned on my socials. I did take it in the truck. I tried to use it with the Torpedo Cap M, and this unit just did not want to function whatsoever under those circumstances. So here we are in my home jam space. And we have the Theta by ISP Technologies on loan from Park Kingery. If you can imagine that. Pretty much my content the last 2 months has been parks. You hear? Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I obviously can't afford to buy a ton of shit all the time, and begging builders is a pain in the ass because I have a small channel and they want to see you have. One person was probably the kindest, and they said they want to see at least 20,000 subscribers before they send something. So I'm not there. Matter of fact, I probably have as many subscribers that leave someone's channel that has that many subscribers every month. So, yeah, I'm a small fish in a big motherfucking pond. But this thing right here, hooked up to the KSR PA50, is amazing. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's a fantastic unit. I love it. It really sounds good. The thing that really seals it in for me, especially with using the PA50, and man, I love Kyle Rhodes right to death. He's one of the sweetest, nicest people you ever meet, and he's smart on a level that a lot of us will never be in our lives. He is a smart dude. After seeing how this thing acts with the ISP decimator built into it, I think that KSR needs to start putting a noise gate of some sort in their preamp pedals because it really is a game changer on this. So you just heard me jamming around in straight up drop D. So I'm going to put this into standard tuning, do a little bit of rock and roll for you. Then we'll bust out the 7-string. The controls you have on this are two sets of controls. You have preamp controls, and then you have gain controls. And then you have an ISP decimator built into it. I believe it's the version 2 of the decimator that's built into it. Don't hold me to that, though, because I'm ignorant shit when it comes to that, because it doesn't technically say. But the way it behaves is like a decimator, too. All right, you also have connections so you can run this through your effects loop if you want to kind of take over your amp. If you have a tube amp that you're just not completely happy with and you want to be able to kind of tailor that sound a little bit differently, you can use this thing and it'll fucking scream. I put it into my Republic amps just to see what it would do, and oh my god. If you get, granted, the Republic amp is an awesome amp. I don't really have a shitty one. Actually, I do, but I fucking hate that thing. I'm still debating on whether I want to put more money into it or if I want to have an accidental fire with it. You know what I mean? Fuck that amp. Jet City gets right to the balls and suck my dick. That fucking amp sucks. Anyhow, back to the Theta. And the fact that I'm using the KSR PA50, which is why I got the PA50, was to test pedals like this because, one, nothing interrupts it. The PA50 is a power amp. It's a tube-driven power amp. So it's all tubes. So you get that really good tube-like sound out of an analog pedal like the Theta. So again, you have two sets of controls. You have your preamp controls, which have your gain, you have bass, middle, treble, sweep, level, and sweep. So you can kind of play around with the preamp's mid-range, which is really unheard of with pedals like this. Usually you don't get a sweep on the preamp side of things. Usually you get it on the other side, which brings us back to the regular controls. You have gain, bass, middle, treble, sweep, um, level, all that happy shit. Just like with the preamp, it's kind of like it mirrors it, but it does two completely different things. Even though they're kind of the same controls in a roundabout way, they behave very much differently. Now, the only difference is you have a gain 1 and a gain 2. So if you're familiar with some of the higher end amps, you know, like the Armored Sabo, you have two gains that kind of work together where you can kind of shape your gain. You don't need to use both. You can use one or the other. But if you want to really shape your gain, you kind of play around with those, and it gives you a lot of options in a very small package. I believe this is like $399 from Sweetwater, and it's fantastic. It really is. So I'm going to play in standard tuning, give you guys a little bit of taste of that. I'm not going to really play around with the settings on it because I have it dialed in because I usually start with everything at noontime, but I was just having a lot of fun, and I'm not going to apologize for having fun because I don't get paid for this. I do this because it's entertaining to me. I make videos I want to see. So if you like those videos, like I like to see the videos done like this, subscribe, motherfuckers, please. Subscribe to my shitty channel. It would help, especially when I'm trying to borrow stuff. Like I reached out to ISP no less than a dozen times in the last year to try certain things. They don't give a shit. They don't even return an email. So the way I see it, they won't return my email. Are they going to return something from customer service? I don't know. I've never had a problem with any of their products. Their products, everything I've ever had, something from ISP has been of the utmost top quality. It works perfectly. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. But not returning emails is kind of a dick move. And I'll always say that. I know someone, Fluff, told me to not really mention that stuff at one point in time. And I'm sorry. If you don't return emails, it's a simple thing just to go, even if you have a cut and paste general response you send to everybody, like, hey, dude, your channel's really not what I look for. I get it. I'm fat. I'm mouthy. I have dick jokes. I'll say bad words. I get it. Again, I make these videos for myself. And if you're enjoying them, good. It's a win-win. I do this because I'm curious to what pieces of gear do. I don't give a fuck about an alliance with companies. If someone makes a piece of shit, I'm going to tell you it's a piece of shit. If they make something that's great, I'm going to tell you it's great. Obviously, under the circumstances that I am using it. Might not be that way with you. So always, please, if you listen to any of the bullshit that comes out of my mouth, please do not buy something based just on the fact that I made it sound good. All right? What I want to hear, you might want to hear, but you don't have my hands. My hands has a lot to do with what you're hearing. It's how I touch the instrument. It's how I play it. It's how I dial my own sound in. Everything I play kind of sounds like me. I'm not going to dial something in to sound like somebody else. Although I might start a series doing that, like see if I can get the Metallica tone or something. But really, at the end of the day, I want to see how long it takes me to get a piece of gear to get me to where I want to be. I don't want to sound like Metallica. I want Metallica to sound like Metallica. And for a while, Metallica didn't sound like Metallica. Now that Metallica sounds like Metallica, people are bitching about that. But that's another whole story for another whole time. But you know, I do. Like, Trivium has a sound. Do I love Trivium? Yes. I think Matt Heafy and Belay, or whatever the hell his name is. I always forget it. He's from Maine. You think I'd remember his damn name. Bolo, Solo. I don't know. I can't believe I can't spit his name out. Corey. There we go. Jeez. Old age. If anybody sees us, don't waste your time telling those guys I forgot their fucking names. They don't care. But they have an awesome sound that sounds good for Trivium. I love Trivium. They sound good. All right? They do. They just sound fantastic. Blackstone Cherry. You know? Sup, Chris? They sound awesome. I don't want to sound like Blackstone Cherry. A lot of the rock and roll riffs I write sound like they could have been plucked out of Blackstone Cherry's ass, but they don't sound like Blackstone Cherry. That's Chris. Chris has been playing for a long time, and he's got kind of like this vintage sound with a modern feel. He's dialed himself into where it doesn't matter what gear he uses, he sounds like Chris. All right? You know, Those guys, they have a sound and it works. And why chase their sound? Find your own sound. All right. So again, I just talked for way too fucking long. I'm supposed to be making short videos. It never happens. I have diarrhea of the mouth and I like to speak, I guess. But we're going to do some rock and roll. I'm not going to change any of the settings. I'm going to show you how versatile it is. Having this thing dialed in, I'm going to do some rock and roll. I'm going to get out a 7-string and I'm going to plug it into this bitch and see what it does. That I do not know. I've not done that yet. So real quick, because I'm not going to come back and say shit. I said that last time and I still did, so who knows? And no, I don't have the Rona. I have really bad allergies. And the old lady, booty call Becky, she has 2 dogs that for some reason are irritating my shit this weekend. Normally they don't. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe I'm becoming allergic to her. It's time to move on. I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep her. She's weird. I like weird. All right. So, yeah, it's true, unfortunately. Yes, sir. All right, so gear I'm using today. Speaking of Blackstone Cherry, it's Chris Robertson's signature model. It's by far the best SE that Paul Reed Smith made, and they no longer make it, which really makes me sad because it's a fantastic weapon. I'm using the Theta by ISP Technologies. I'm using the KSR PA50 going into my monster cab and using Labagoa cables, and I'll be using a Solar A2.7 WHM. That stands for White Hate Machine. Good job, Ola. I didn't buy it because it was called that, by the way. I got it because my buddy Steve was selling it, and I'd never seen a white one that was set up that way, and Steve is really, really awesome. Like, he sets everything up great. So I didn't have to work on it. I got it, and literally I've been playing it ever since. The only thing that's different is I put a Voodoo custom pickups in the bridge. It's a prototype. I don't even know what the hell it is. It's just a prototype, is what it said. Maybe someday Rich will tell me what the fuck that thing is. Maybe he'll give it a name. I don't know. He's a little cagey on the 7-string shit. He should do them because it's fantastic. All right, enough of my diarrhea of the mouth. Let's get to the fucking plan.